Hello and welcome to Politics Up on Vanguard Live. I'm Damlola Ogunshaki. And joining me today is Barrister Oraye St. Franklin. He is a former senior special assistant to Governor Wike and an Obis supporter. Hello, Barrister.
Thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here.
Let's talk about the Obidients. Obedience is a strong force right now in Nigeria. And of course, we have the APC candidates, we have PDP candidates. My question now is, why is your candidate the best?
Oh, well, Obi represents the hope for Nigeria, for Nigeria's restoration. He's the best because when you look at the three main candidates, the candidate from the APC, the candidate from the PDP, and Mr. Peter Obi, it's very easy to make the decision that, look, if we want to get the best out of Nigeria, this is the way to go. Currently, a lot of Nigerians are tired about the trajectory of our country. They are disturbed about the trajectory of our country. They are tired about how bad things have been. They are tired of enduring, although they say Nigerians have an inelastic limit to suffering, but it is becoming clear daily that Nigerians are getting tired and they want the very best for our country. So Obi represents the hope for restoration of Nigeria's dignity. If you look across the nation, there's a terrible state of insecurity. The state of joblessness is also very disturbing. So if you look again, Obi has the credentials to address these very biting issues in Nigeria.
All right. Do Peter Obi and Labour Party have the enabling capacity and structure to challenge the heavyweights in 2023?
Again, these things keep popping up. Whether we have the capacity, whether Obi or Labour Party have the capacity to confront the APC and the PDP. The truth of the matter is that capacity is dependent on the people of Nigeria. So when you say if Obi has the capacity, it's whether Nigerians are backing him. And look at the landscape from north to west, east to south. Nigerians are backing Obi. It means he has the capacity. It means he has the structures, because structures are people. So I have no doubts in my mind that when it comes to making the decision of who is best fit, who is best suited to take the reins of power and redefine the character of our nation, Nigerians will readily vote Mr. Peter Obi, because it is in their power. This is their decisions to make, and not that of an oligarchy sitting somewhere pretty. So look across the landscape. Everywhere you turn, you see Obidients. So it tells you that it's no longer an issue of four people tweeting in a room. It's a massive movement of people who are tired of the way Nigeria is.
You said everywhere you turn to, you will see Obedience. But Governor Sule of Nasarawa State said, he does not know any Labour candidates in the state.
He's been delusional. He's being delusional. That's the truth. And these are the sort of narratives you see from people who want to hold on to power forever. Truth of the matter is, everybody has smelled the coffee, right? The game has changed across the landscape. In the north, the Obidients are making massive inroads. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Obidients are everywhere, sweeping through every nook and cranny of Nigeria. Of course, there are challenges in certain quarters, but the truth of the matter is, when you talk about who is the leading candidate in this 2023 presidential election, it is easy to see that it is Mr. Peter Obi.
Former governor of CBN, Soludo, of course, he had a lot to say about Peter Obi. He gave a blunt assessment of Peter Obi and his government. What do you have to say about this?
I have very huge respect for Mr. Chukwuma Soludo, and I would say he has his right to hold an opinion on anything. Mr. Chukwuma Soludo's opinion is Mr. Chukwuma Soludo's opinion, and it ends at it. I wouldn't want to join issues with him or with any other person, but the truth of the matter is, the very foundation of our politics is shaking. And it is shaking because of one man, Mr. Peter Obi. I would say it's unfortunate that Mr. Chukma Soludo, who is the governor of Mr. Peter Obi State, Anambra, came out to make the kind of scathing remarks that he did. It's unfortunate, but it's his personal opinion. In Anambra today, Mr. Peter Obi is still revered as the best thing that happened to that state. Today, when we talk about the achievements of Mr. Peter Obi, it is because of what he did in Anambra State. So there's no doubt about the fact that Nigerians have made up their mind about where they intend to go in 2023 and who their presidential candidate of choice is. By the grace of God, our next president is Mr. Peter Obi.
Mm-hmm. All right, when we are talking about elections, sometimes you can't really rule out some of the socio-cultural groups. And let's talk about Affinity now. Where do they really stand?
The question is, or the issue we should draw from this is, you can see that Affinity, a leading socio-cultural group of Western Nigeria, has taken a position in supporting Mr. Peter Obi. It has never been done before. These are the issues, these are the things we extract from this conversation. Affinity, a leading socio-cultural group of Western Nigeria, which has a candidate in this election, has taken a position to throw its weight behind Mr. Peter Obi of the Southeast region of Nigeria. It has never been done before. And it gives you a sense of how dissatisfied Nigerians are about the status quo and how desperate they want change, for our nation. So it is no longer about where this person is coming from or religion or ethnicity. It is about what we want for the best of our nation and who best represents, who best captures the aspirations of Nigeria. It is Mr. Peter Obi, without a shadow of doubt.
Yusuf Dati, some Nigerians are of the opinion that public universities are not really being invested into, because top Nigerians, they are really investing, they're into education by owning private universities and also invested in them. And of course, Dati is not out of it. I mean, he owns a private university. Now, don't you think this will affect when they eventually enter into government in 2023?
And you cannot separate Mr. Dati from Mr. Peter Obi. They're on a joint ticket. And whatever promises, whatever programs the Labour Party through Mr. Peter Obi is offering Nigerians, it's the same, that Mr. Dati and Mr. Peter Obi represent. In terms of investment in education, I think that is his personal business. And I would see it as an intervention, because today, as we speak, the educational sector in Nigeria is nothing to write home about. If you want to have quality education, you have to go to the private universities, because people have taken the time to invest in such institutions, so that we can be sure that we have a crop of people who are well educated within the country. Otherwise, those who have the means leave the country to foreign nations to get the best education that money can buy. So it is good that we have somebody like Mr. Dati on the ticket. He understands what the issues are, and then we can be sure that he's going to being on the same ticket with Mr. Peter Obi is going to take the same efforts he has taken to provide the best quality of education within his own confines and make it something that is widespread across Nigeria. So it's a good thing, in my opinion. But what we should take out of this is that we have somebody on the ticket who understands the unique challenge of our educational sector. We have somebody on the ticket who has taken efforts, to create an ideal educational environment where Nigerians can find good quality education. So we can be sure that because we have him on the ticket, we can have widespread effect, drawing from his experience and things he has done in his own personal capacity as a Nigerian citizen.
There are some people that have the opinion that a merger will be a good deal for Peter Obi.
Well, I think we've gone past that conversation, because if you look at the changing landscape of the 2023 presidential elections, you can see that there was a missed opportunity for the NNPP, to merge with the Labour Party. But well, if conversations like that are ongoing, all well and good. But personally, I think it's too late in the day to have that conversation, because across the landscape of Nigeria, I can tell you that it is a wildfire. It is a wildfire of Mr. Peter Obi sweeping through the landscape of our country.
All right. Lastly, what will Peter Obi do differently?
Oh, fantastic. Before we talk about what he would do differently, I think we should need to examine where he's coming from. What has he done before? Because that's the basis for judging any of these leading candidates. What have they done before? Mr. Peter Obi has Anambra State to show for what he has done. In terms of education, he took the state from nowhere to being number one. In terms of infrastructure, he changed the landscape of Anambra State. What he's promising Nigeria is that the biting issues in our country, issues like corruption, will be dealt with, because he's not identified with corruption. Biting issues like the economy, dealing with the economy, it will be dealt with, because he has shown over time that he has the competence to address these issues. He said, from his 7 governance priorities, he's also going to be dealing with restructuring the country. He's also going to leapfrog Nigeria to the 4th industrial revolution. So these are things that he has said. These are things we can hold him to account for. He says he's going to get more young people involved in governance. He's going to make Nigeria more productive. Today, if you look at Nigeria, you have more people leaving the country in droves because they are dissatisfied. They are afraid of what Nigeria will turn to. Peter Obi said he would turn brain drain to brain gain. These are things that he has said he will do, and these are things we can hold him to account. So the economy, so corruption, security, Peter Obi says, hold me to account. I will deliver on this. What has he done before? What has he said before? He's done it before. So because he's done it before, we can be certain that, yes, this man, we can hold him to his words. Is he identified with corruption? Has anybody come out to say Mr. Peter Obi has been identified with corruption in Nigeria? It's a big issue in Nigeria. And to find a public servant who does not have an iota of corruption identified with him, it's a big issue. You know what I'm talking about.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Oraye and Franklin, for joining us today.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Yes. And of course, he's a former senior special assistant to Governor Wike and an Obis supporter. To get more of our top stories and things trending around the world, you can follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen. I'm Damilola Ogunshaki. It's bye from me on Politics Hub.